guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to Reframing Me. I'm your host, Dr. Jennifer Brubaker. Today, we're going to read chapter 2 from my new book, Reframe the Moment, Choose Your Zen. And if you had the chance to listen to the autumnal equinox episode the other day, you'll know that the last few days I've been kind of feeling a bit off. Unlike myself, just circumstances in the world and in my life have just kind of left me feeling a little bit off balance. And so, looking at this chapter, it's funny how it worked out that it's actually the perfect chapter for me to read today. I am. So very simple. Every day we use them. We use the words aloud to others and in our heads to describe who we are, how we see ourselves, and how we present ourselves to the world. According to the law of resonance, what you think and say, you create in your reality and your experiences. So when you say I am, that is the version of you that is being created. The law of resonance is one of the main principles that the universe functions on. The frequency of any material object, of our thoughts, our emotions, and even our experiences possess a unique oscillation or frequency, and it will attract similar things in the outside world that vibrate at the same frequency. You know how sometimes you have those days where you wake up and something puts you in a bad mood? Maybe it's something as simple as waking up late or running out of coffee. And then from there, it just snowballs. Like everything that can go wrong does. And the day just becomes a total shit show. How does everyone manage to annoy me on the same day? How can I possibly forget so many things, or be late, or run out of, or break, or whatever? So many things on the same damn day. Y'all are just testing me, right? This is exactly how I have felt. Honestly, today is Wednesday because we do this on Wednesdays. And this is how I have felt since I guess it would be last Thursday evening. I have just felt like everything, just one after another, it's like it just keeps snowballing. Well, according to Albert Einstein, like attracts like. So, when you are nurturing low frequency emotional states like anger, frustration, envy, sadness, or other comparable fabulous emotions, guess what? Your external reality will attract experiences that will only intensify those feelings. And that is exactly what I have been going through the last few days. Last Thursday evening, I told you all of this in the autumnal equinox episode, but last Thursday, there was a lockdown on my campus where I teach, but it's also where my son goes to school. He's a sophomore there. And so thankfully, it turned out to be that the reports of multiple gunmen on campus, that it turned out to be a false alarm, thankfully. And so everyone was safe, everyone was good. But it was 3 hours that we didn't know that. And it was really disorienting. It really kind of shook me a lot more than I would have guessed that it would shake me. And so I think that it threw me into that low vibrational state because I had been in such a good place. I had been like, you want to talk about when they say like that state of flow where like everything was just, I had all of these ideas and I was excited and I felt all this enthusiasm and promise with everything that I had kind of been building towards. And it was like, woo, I feel so great about everything. And then it was after that, that it just kind of feels like everything just went down. And it really shook me a lot more. And I don't think I put that into context of the idea of a law of resonance and just the vibrational states. So when you woke up late or had a lockdown that scared you on campus, you tuned into that low emotional state, like a radio station. You listen to a 90s hip hop radio station, and how does that make you feel? It makes you feel young and happy and fun. You tune into the TikTok radio station or a country station or slow songs, and it makes you feel a different way. Similarly, when you woke up late and tuned into that low emotional state, all you saw and attracted were experiences and thoughts of the same low emotional frequency. Like attracts like, which is why for the last 4 or 5 days, I have felt nothing but low emotional frequency and had low emotional frequency experiences. So, if instead you switch to high energy thoughts and emotions that make your heart happy, your external reality will shift to match it. It's the law of resonance. This is why the words I am are so very powerful. We all can come up with many ways that we may be using these words not so responsibly. But how can we instead use them well? How can we use them to think about ourselves, speak about ourselves, present ourselves to others? I drew yesterday when I drew my oracle card for the day, which I do every morning. It was interesting because I drew the root chakra card, the Archangel Michael, but I drew it reversed. I drew it maybe, I think I counted and it was like 12 days ago. But yeah, I think it was 12 days prior. I had drawn it upright. And the root chakra card is about stability because your root chakra is about feeling stable and feeling secure and feeling powerful and feeling like basically you have everything under control, right? And that is exactly how I felt 12 days ago. In fact, when I journaled about my card and I journaled that day, I actually wrote, like, I have no doubts. Like, I have got this. Like, I have got everything under control. Everything's going so well. I know where I'm headed. I know what I'm doing. I feel secure. I feel really comfortable, basically. And yesterday, then, which is statistically okay, so yeah, I always tell y'all that I'm like half woo woo, half, scholar. And so that would be the half woo woo part. The half scholar part of me is like, statistically, what are the chances that I would draw that same card, like out of the whole deck of cards? I'm not really 100% sure. I probably should know this. How many cards are in that deck? And if Winnie wasn't asleep right here, I would get up to look at it. But I know statistically the chances of me drawing the same card 12 days apart, especially since the day before I had drawn the all tied up card, which I think I mentioned in an episode that actually, you know what? I mentioned that I think last week about the drawing the all tied up card, which was basically like releasing the binds that had been holding me back, which I use to say that it was like making me a little bit more comfortable to do stuff like this, which I probably shouldn't be because now here I am like rambling all over the place. But I drew that card reversed, which meant that I was releasing it. Well, 2 days ago, I drew the all tied up card the right way, like upright, which meant that I was all tied up, which, yeah, I was. And then the next day, yesterday, I again had a repeat card. And again, it was the opposite way that it had been. And again, the meaning of the card, the way that I pulled it, was that I did not feel safe. I did not feel secure. I did not feel stable. I had doubts, unlike not having them before. And so my root chakra was really basically completely off balance, which is what I told you in the autumnal equinox episode those few days ago, whenever that autumnal equinox was. And so obviously, they're oracle cards. You can take it with a grain of salt, but I definitely see that happening. And I see the law of resonance in that because that is exactly what I was doing. I had these experiences one way or the other. And so when I had everything going well and feeling good. And like I was in that state of flow and everything felt so good and so easy and so natural. And I didn't have any doubts. And then I had that event happen last week that really shook me. And yes, it shook my security. It shook my sense of feeling comfortable, feeling safe, but it lowered my vibration. And then from there, it's like everything that I experienced and everything that kind of came to me in my life was feeling that same low frequency. And so like attracts like. And I will tell you, well, no, wait, I'll hold on to that until I get to this next part. I am just getting started. Women reach their 40s or their 50s. Their kids are becoming more independent or are launching, and they begin to reevaluate their lives. We look at a chapter of life closing behind us. I am unneeded. I am old. I am bored. I am lonely. I am useless. I am lost. But we are also young. Maybe not 25 young, but we are young. We are experienced. We are wise. We are not the same person who we were 15 or 20 years ago. We are better, and we are just getting started. Again, if you haven't listened to the autumnal equinox, I talked about my daughter getting her driver's license in a few weeks here and how that has been shaking me because I'm realizing that she is my last one who needs me to drive her places. And, after nearly 20 years of being the driver for everyone, and feeling like I was needed and feeling this strong sense of purpose because of how much I was needed by everyone. Now she's the last to be literally not going to need me anymore for things like that. And, I can't help but feel if she doesn't need me, is she going to want me? And I know that that's silly and I know it's pathetic. And the boys have their driver's licenses and they still need me and they still want me. And so I in my head know it's silly, but in my heart I can't help but feel like it's a big turning point for me. And so that is something that I have just been feeling and also tied into this low vibrational frequency because I should have been looking at it a different way than I was. But I am just getting started. I am strong. If anyone has ever done anything or said anything to make you think that you are not powerful, I will tell you right now that is a lie. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, let me remind you of your never ending strength, your perseverance to keep going. We are powerful. Just think about all we have seen and learned and done. We have raised children. We have made it through every hard day that we've had. We have learned from them. We have grown. We are so strong. Even on what feel like our weakest days, sometimes the strongest, most powerful thing that we can do is ask for help. And sometimes the strongest thing we can do is just sit back and watch, sit back and wait, supporting others, backing them up, being their rock or their launching pad or their safety net. Have you ever given yourself any credit for how much strength that has taken? We are strong. I am brave. I am resilient. I am unafraid of the unknown. I am excited to break free of my comfort zone. Everything that I have experienced until this point, everything has led me to this point. I am ready to face the unknown. I am ready to break free. I am in love with myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for not knowing better when I didn't know better. I am confident. I am smart. I am beautiful. I am capable. Take away your negative mindset. Don't let yourself even think those negative thoughts. And don't let anyone else's words or actions or successes or lives, none of that matters. Do not let them impact you about how you feel about you. Do not let it affect what you think about you. I am confident. Put it on and own it. I am doing so well. I am enough. There is no goal that you must attain. There is no bar that you need to reach. No one's level of success is your benchmark or your ceiling. You are in charge of your own future, and you are enough in your present. You are doing so well. Understand the impact that your thoughts and your words and your actions have on your reality. The most powerful words that you can say are I am. How are you using them? And how can you better and more responsibly use them? So when I'm feeling the way that I have been the last few days, I really hate it because that is not me. That is not how I like to live my life. That is not how I like to feel. I'm the same person who every morning, the first thing that I say is, I am such a lucky girl. Good things always happen to me. Why am I so lucky? So I don't like to feel that low vibrational state. That's not my favorite version of me. And so I have done a few active things the last couple of days to kind of shake myself out of that. And the first one is a few nights back, I changed up my subliminal. But I typically listen to one that's a success based one. But now, the last few days, I went in and I instead listened to one that was a confidence one because I do feel like I needed to kind of get my confidence back. And Stella needed to get her groove back, is really what needed to happen. And I just had that confidence shaken, both in the world and in my life and in my safety and in my capabilities. And so and that was that root chakra, I guess. But I had that confidence shaken. And so I needed that back. So I did start listening to the confidence subliminal. And then the second thing is, every day when I work out indoors. And it's just kind of like because I like to use my Peloton or my tread or, I do my P-ball, it's all indoors. And yesterday was a gorgeous day. And I'm like, you know what? I need to touch grass. I mean, not really like I didn't like walk barefoot, but I should have though, but I just needed fresh air. Like I needed fresh air. I needed to kind of reset. And so instead, I went on a nice long walk. And that was so helpful to me just to kind of reset, to just instead of walking for the like total workout factor, instead, it was just walking and just resetting, enjoying the scenery and thinking and just clearing my head and restarting myself and or resetting myself, I guess. I win. And, so it was so good for me to just get outside, to get that fresh air and to just reset. So that was the second thing I did. The third thing that I do and that I did was I used a words of affirmation and essentially the I am statements. And I did a meditation where I just kept reciting, something like it was like, I am strong. I am balanced. I am rooted. I am stable. I am secure. I am strong. I am balanced. I am rooted. I am stable. I am secure. I mean, I didn't go that fast because it's not very meditative, but that's what I did. So, and it's just using those words are so powerful. So, I said that part of the point of doing these was to look back and see how much has changed since I recorded the initial episodes of the Jenna Zen that these were based on, since I wrote these essays from those Jenna Zens into the book and to see where I'm at now. And last week's, when we talked about what would I be, who would I be if I was truly free, I said how I felt like so much had changed in me. And it's so interesting to see that this is not only as relevant today in my life or even more relevant than it was then, but the interesting thing that I see is that whereas I had to literally tell myself this wasn't like organically popping into my head. Like I had to really think about this. And now it was like, that is my natural instinct. That is exactly where my head went, was all of these things to raise my vibration and to get myself back to that version of me who I wanted to be, to attract things in my life that are the way that I want them to be. And then I opened the book this morning and I see this, but I'm like, oh, look at that. Exactly what I just kind of naturally came. So it's nice to be able to see my growth. Thank you so much for being here today. And always, I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, because it's really nice to have these just kind of natural, organic, like, hey, I don't even know what we're going to talk about today until I open the book kind of conversations. So I hope that you enjoy it. And I will see you here again next week. Oh, and yes, I will actually see you, because don't forget, I record these so you can actually watch me rambling on YouTube if you would like. But thank you so much. I will be back next Wednesday where we will talk about chapter 3.